Well, it took them longer than expected to get it done, but the Winnipeg Jets have officially clinched a spot in the 2025 Stanley Cup playoffs. And it's been a massive surprise of a year, kind of like the Washington Capitals. If you told an NHL fan at the start of the season that the Capitals and the Jets would be the first two teams to clinch playoff spots, I think people would have been very shocked at you, and they probably wouldn't have believed you and laughed in your face. But here we are. Winnipeg has been unbelievable since the start of the regular season. They have a record of 49, 19, and 4 for 102 points. They are second in the NHL with a .708 points percentage. They have scored 249 goals, have allowed 172 for a plus 77 difference. They are 26, 6 and 4 at home, and they are 23, 13 and 0 on the road. So some very good records there. Every number is positive. They are unreal in every category. Almost 50 wins on a season. I think they are coming up on the franchise record for most wins in a season, which is unreal. They've already broken the record for the longest winning streak in the season. This year is the Jets with winning 11 games in a row, I'm pretty sure. So they have been just insane. Again, their home record is phenomenal. They've only lost 6 times in regulation at home. And just everything about this team is just so entertaining to watch and so entertaining to see. And we've been talking about it a lot on the Nordcast and the MVP about how this Jets team just seems like they don't have a lot of issues and they didn't really need to do a ton at the trade deadline. Depending on who you would ask, I know Carter definitely said that they should make some moves for like a second line center and a defenseman, and they sort of did that. But again, I feel like even still, they still have a very good team, even post the trade deadline. Kyle Connor is their leading goal scorer this year. 72 games played, 37 goals, which is first on the team, 49 assists, which is also first on the team, for 86 points, which, you guessed it, is first on the team as well. He has been just unreal in all accounts. It sucks because there's Nathan McKinnon and Connor McDavid and a couple other players that are ahead of him in the Hart Trophy race, even his own teammate Connor Hellebuck, some may argue, that are going to win it over him. But Kyle Connor brings incredible, immense value to that Winnipeg Jets offense. I don't think it's out of the question for a guy like Connor to end up with 100 points at the end of the year. I don't think it's out of the question. Definitely not. He's at 86 right now. There are 10 games left in the Winnipeg season. I would not be surprised at the slightest if he does get to that mark, unless if he does miss games. He needs 14 points in 10 games. That's like 1.3 points per game during that stretch. I don't think that's impossible. All it takes is like 2 3-point games, and boom, you're pretty much right there. So, yeah, I'm not ruling that out at all, to be honest, that he does get to 100 points. But Connor, definitely been the most valuable player on the skater end of things for the Winnipeg Jets. I don't want to say the most valuable player on the team. Mark Scheifele, second in scoring, 72 games played, 35 goals, 43 assists, 78 points. Scheifele has also been unreal in a sense that he's also been at the top of the Jets list in points. Him and Connor have just been passing the puck, making plays, scoring goals. Like, it's expected that your first line is up there in points, and Scheifele is second there. He's been unreal this year watching him play alongside Connor and Velarde for most of the year, which, by the way, has to be one of the best first lines in the league. I don't even know if it's, like, to be honest, they might be even, like, top 3. It has just been so entertaining to watch them this year. In terms of, like, actual, like, name value, they aren't, but, like, in terms of points this year, like, they have racked it up. Gabriel Velarde, that being said, third in scoring, 71 games played, 27 goals, 34 assists for 61 points. Now, we did just find out that Velarde is going to miss some time, likely for the rest of the regular season. I've heard things about playoffs. I would imagine if he's going to miss playoffs, he might miss like maybe 2 games in the first round. I doubt it, though. I think that guy's going to be ready to come right back. But he is out for the rest of the regular season, which sucks. But yet again, it's only 10 games, so it's not like you're losing him for a huge amount of time, like a big chunk of the year. It's only 10 games. It's not a huge deal. And the Jets are already in. So, like, up to this point, you're kind of just playing for the Western Conference and playing for the President's Trophy, I guess, to be honest, and resting your guys as well. So, yeah, I mean, Velarde being out, it's, if he doesn't come back by the playoffs and we hear that update, then yeah, it's a problem. But right now, I'm not terribly worried about it. But he's been someone who I think has been just so impressive. And I think a lot of people kind of overlook a little bit. Like, he has been a star on that Winnipeg Jets team. And, like, I mean, he's one of the most underrated players in the league, in my opinion, at least so far through this year. Nikolai Ehlers up next, then fourth in scoring, 63 games played, 24 goals, 37 assists for 61 points. Ehlers for me as well has been awesome this year. He has the same amount of points as Velarde in lesser games played. Again, we still don't know what the future looks like for a guy like Velarde Ehlers. We've heard things through the season that he does plan on leaving. You can't really say that until the end of the season, so we don't really know as of right now. But from what we're hearing, it just doesn't seem good. But like, I don't see how, after seeing how the Jets have been this year and just how talented this team is, and even if they go to the second round and they show some legitimate progress, I don't know how Ehlers can be like, yeah, I want to move on. But I mean, if he does end up going to free agency, there are going to be a lot of teams lining up for him, including the Winnipeg Jets, trying to get him back. So he's going to be one of the more interesting names to follow as we move closer to July 1st. Josh Morrissey, their number one defenseman, I would say by far. 71 games played, 12 goals, 43 assists, 55 points. Again, Morrissey has been on another level. Hasn't been like a Norris level guy, but just the way he plays on both ends of the rink, offensively and defensively, it's almost unmatched. I think like there's a couple of the defensemen who are better than him in terms of like offense and being creative and talented, but Morrissey's up there. That's for sure in terms of valuable two-way defenders. He's been insane this season for Winnipeg, and I think it should not go unnoticed, and it kind of is, to be honest with you. Cole Perfetti is sixth in scoring, 72 games played, 15 goals, 30 assists, 45 points. Perfetti has definitely been a little bit slower in terms of like the actual points, like getting on paper numbers, but you watch the games, he's being well-minded defensively, he's making plays out there. He's not like invisible when he's not scoring points. He still looks noticeable out there on the ice. Like last night, I don't even think he had a point against the Capitals when we streamed that, by the way. Thank you for all joining the stream. I appreciate it. I just want to say, like, I think that overall, the points aren't the biggest thing with Perfetti, even though, like, I guess you would like more offense out of him from, like, a ninth overall pick. But still, I think he's been aging well with Winnipeg this year. Neil Pionk had a really good, like, first half of the year. Has kind of tailed off a little bit, though. That does come with missing a couple of games. 66 games played, 9 goals, 28 assists for 37 points. I like Pionk. I think the Jets are going to try and keep him around. I think that he's probably their second best offensive defenseman in terms of like points. I wouldn't argue he's their second best guy. I think Dylan Sandberg's ahead of him there, and maybe even a guy like Dylan DeMello. I think Pionk would be number 3 though, for me at least. But overall, I think that Pionk has had a good season. The offense has tailed off a little bit, but the Jets have been reportedly saying over the course of the season that they would like to keep him around. So not complaining there. And then Vladislav Nemesnikov, 68 games played, 11 goals, 24 assists, 35 points. Not a bad middle six option. He's been playing a lot of second line, more or less, with Winnipeg. I don't think that's a bad move either. I liked how Nemesnikov has looked. The points aren't really coming, but he is still a good two-way minded player for Winnipeg, playing in that middle six again, as I said. Now, notice how I said with Connor, he's probably the most valuable skater. I would argue Connor Hellebuyck is the most valuable player on the Winnipeg Jets this year. 41, 10, and 3, a 2.06 and a .924 save percentage. I mean, his numbers were definitely better as, like, at the beginning of the year and when we hit, like, December. I would say, like, since January 1st, his numbers have gone down a tad bit. Like, there was a point where, like, he had more shutouts than he did regulation losses, which is crazy. But even still, Hellebuyck is somebody who is the number one guy for the Vezina Trophy, I think, honestly, by far. He is by far the favorite. It's like him, Thompson, and I guess, like, Vasilevsky or something like that. But I think Hellebuyck should win the award yet again. And again, I've talked about it many times. He might even be a Hall of Famer if you consider that. If you get some playoff success in there, I think he's a lock, honestly. Just the Vezina count. Yeah, I think he'll have 3 if he wins this one. Like it's unreal. A lot of goalies don't even win 2. So got to give a lot of credit there to Connor Hellebuck, 100%. And then Eric Comrie, the backup goaltender who just sits back and does nothing. I would love to be Eric Comrie, who just sits back and, with watches Hellebuck just put up these insane numbers. 8-9-1, a 2.49 and a .909. Again, not a bad goaltender. I think he's a suitable backup goalie who's been with Winnipeg many different times in his career. Has bounced back and forth with their Buffalo and other places as well. But yeah, this is this Winnipeg Jets team. I don't think the regular season matters for Winnipeg because you're looking to the playoffs. Like, now you're in. That's great. Let's see who you're going to play in the first round. Oh, look, you're playing St. Louis. Oh, look, you're playing Calgary. I think it's going to be honestly preference on who they play, to be honest with you. I will say this, though. I'm a little bit worried if I'm looking at St. Louis and seeing that they are actually red hot in terms of what we've seen from previous first place teams. I don't know. I'm not saying that Winnipeg would lose in the first round, but I mean, the track record is there. You don't really know any better, and the Jets or the Blues are red hot. But I'm not saying that. I don't think they lose in the first round this year. I think they can go at least second round and beyond. Like to be honest with you, I know there are Jets fans who are saying like this year is cup or bust. But if they go like to the second or even the third round, I think that's a win, honestly, because you want to see progress. You want to see progress be grown with the Jets and not just lose in the first round every year. If you go to the cup and win, that's incredible. But I think, honestly, if this team goes on like a remarkable run to the conference finals, like loses in Game 7, I think Jets fans would be somewhat okay with it. There would be ones that would be disappointed, obviously. But I think with how the Jets have played this year, I think a conference finals appearance would be great. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below on the Winnipeg Jets. Thank you all for watching. At least I'm not like Carter and say that they're going to win the Stanley Cup this year. Only Nordcast fans will know. But anyways, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe down below if you're new and join the community that we're building here. Follow Nordcast, by the way, Nordcast Network on the description down below. We're coming up on 100 episodes. It'd be great if you guys could go give it a follow and go listen. But that's it for us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.